In 1968, Peter Norman ran 20.06 seconds at the Mexico City Olympics. That record stood for 56 years. It wasn't broken at the World Championships. It wasn't broken at the Olympics. It wasn't broken at the Diamond League. It was broken at a school championship. By a 16-year-old kid from Ipswich, Queensland, whose parents fled a war to get here. Fair dinkum, mates. This is that story, Mexico City. October 16, 1968. The men's 200 meters final. Tommy Smith wins in 19.83 seconds, a world record. John Carlos finishes third. And on the podium, both men raise a black-gloved fist. That image, Smith and Carlos on the podium, becomes one of the most iconic photographs in the history of sport. But there's a third man on that podium. Peter Norman. Australia. Silver medal. 20.06 seconds. Nobody talks about Peter Norman. History remembered Smith and Carlos for what they did on the podium. History forgot Norman for what he did on the track. For 56 years, 20.06 seconds stood as the Australian national record in the 200 meters. 56 years. Think about what happened in those 56 years. The internet was invented. Athletes from Jamaica, America, and Europe rewrote the record books in sprinting. Australia hosted the Olympic Games in Sydney. 4 generations of Australian sprinters came and went, and not one of them ran faster than Peter Norman did in Mexico City in 1968, until December 2024. Before I tell you what happened in December 2024, I need to tell you about a family, South Sudan, 2005. Bona and Monica were born there, raised there, built their lives there, and then the war came. South Sudan had been in conflict for decades, one of the longest and most brutal civil wars in African history. When the violence escalated in 2005, Bona and Monica made a decision that millions of families in conflict zones make. They left. They fled to Egypt first, living in a country that wasn't theirs, speaking a language that wasn't theirs, waiting for a path forward. And then Australia said yes. In 2006, Bona and Monica Gout arrived in Queensland. 2 years later, on December 29, 2007, their third child was born in Ipswich. They named him Gout. The name is actually a mistranslation. When the family fled through Egypt, the original name, Gout, pronounced to rhyme with thought, was misspelled during transliteration from Arabic. The paperwork said Gout. And Gout it stayed. Bona works at the PA hospital in Queensland now. He manages the commercial dishwasher in the kitchen. 3.5 million pieces of cutlery every single year. I check everything so the machine is working and ready to go. I love my job and I try to work hard to support my family. That's Bona Gout, a true battler. His son is about to break a 56-year-old national record. Ipswich Grammar School, Queensland, 2020. Gout is 12 years old. It's an inter-house athletics carnival, the kind of school event that happens every year at schools across Australia. Nothing special about it. No scouts, no cameras. Just kids competing for their houses. And then Gout runs. Diane Shepherd is watching. Diane is a sprint coach. She has seen thousands of young athletes run. She knows the difference between fast and something else. That day she sees something else. She approaches the family. And from that moment, everything changes. By 2022, at age 14, Gout has broken the Australian under-16 record in the 100 meters with 10.57 seconds. By 2023, at age 15, he's winning the Australian Junior 200 meters final with 20.87 seconds. By 2024, the athletics world starts paying attention. A video of Gout running 10.29 in Brisbane goes viral, 13 million views. People are watching a 16-year-old from Queensland and asking the same question. How is this possible? December 2024. Brisbane. The Chemist Warehouse Australian All-Schools Athletics Championships. A school championship. Not the Olympics, not the Worlds. A school championship. Gout lines up for the under-18 200 meters final. He is 16 years old. The record he is chasing has been standing since the year his coach was born. The gun fires. What happens in the next 20 seconds rewrites Australian athletics history. Gout comes out of the bend and hits the straight. He is already clear. He crosses the line. 20.04 seconds. Crikey. Peter Norman's record, set in Mexico City in 1968, the year of the Black Power salute, the year that defined an era, is gone. And it didn't fall at a world championship. It didn't fall at the Olympics. It fell at a school championship in Brisbane to the son of South Sudanese refugees, who arrived in Australia in 2006 with nothing, who built a life here washing dishes at a hospital, whose son just smashed a record that had stood for 56 years. The athletics world didn't just notice, it stopped. Gout's time of 20.04 made him the second fastest under-18 athlete in history, behind only Ariane Knighton of the USA, who ran 19.84 in 2021. More importantly, he ran faster than Usain Bolt did at the same age. Bolt's under-16 world record was 20.13. Gout ran 20.04. Let that sit for a moment, mates. The same Usain Bolt who won 3 Olympic gold medals in the 100 meters. The same Bolt who holds the world record of 9.58 seconds. The most dominant sprinter in the history of the sport. Gout. Gout ran faster than him as a teenager. The comparisons started immediately. And Gout's answer, when asked about being called the next Usain Bolt, said exactly what you'd expect from a 16-year-old who already understands exactly who he is. It's pretty cool, but I want to be the first Gout Gout. Good on you, Gout. Since December 2024, he hasn't stopped. April 2025, Australian Championships in Perth, 19.84 seconds. Wind assisted, but the fastest any Australian has ever run the 200. An absolute ripper of a run. September 2025, World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. His first senior worlds. He is 17 years old. He makes the semifinal. He doesn't win, but he stands on the same track as the best sprinters in the world and belongs there. April 2026, Australian Championships in Sydney. 19.67 seconds. Legal wind. World under-20 record. The first Australian man to break 20 seconds. Peter Norman ran 20.06 in 1968. Gout Gout ran 19.67 in 2026. The gap between them is now 0.39 seconds, and Gout Gout is 18 years old. Brisbane, 2032. The Olympic Games come home to Australia. Gout Gout will be 24 years old. And when asked if it's a coincidence that the Olympics are coming to his city, he gives the kind of answer that makes you understand exactly what drives him. It's definitely my destiny. The son of refugees who fled South Sudan, whose name was misspelled in a translation office in Egypt, whose father washes 3.5 million pieces of cutlery every year at a Queensland hospital, running in the Olympic Games in Brisbane, his city. Peter Norman ran 20.06 in Mexico City in 1968, and nobody talked about him for 56 years. Gout Gout ran 20.04 at a school championship in Brisbane at 16, and the whole world is watching. If this story gave you chills, if at any point you thought about someone you know who is building something extraordinary far from the spotlight, you already know what this channel is about. Subscribe, mates, so you don't miss what comes next, because this is what Aussie Glory is made of.